Roll call.
Larry Dye,
Here.
Michelle Hinchy,
Here.
Tim Hinkle,
Here.
Danny Loggins,
Here.
Michelle Manus,
Here.
Jason Ragland,
Here.
Cindy Seiler,
Here.
Andy Treat,
Here.
Wayne Witcher,
Here.
Quorum.
Have you on, say a prayer.
Father in heaven, we come to you tonight, Lord, humbly and to ask you to just be in amongst us tonight. And we ask you, Lord, for your guidance. Just lead us and show us what we need to do for this county and to keep it financially sound. And God, we just thank you for your son, Jesus, tonight. We just pray for your safety and your watch care. And we thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name I ask you. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need to improve the last month's minutes.
There was no minutes in my packet.
You know?
Was there minutes in your packet?
I gave them to your executive. I'm just saying, I didn't. Well, all the other,
Alright,
I move that we have those minutes sent to, the JPs, please.
it'll be done tomorrow.
ain't got no old business, new business. Resolution 2024-4.
Resolution.
I'll move that we do a title read only for resolution 2024-04, the agreement between the Witt Springs Community Voices and Searcy County, Arkansas.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Resolution 2024-04, lease agreement. This agreement is between the Witt Springs Community Voices landowner in Searcy County, Arkansas, tenant, for the lease of certain parcels of land for the purpose of establishing a park for the unincorporated community of Witt Springs on grounds of the former Witt Springs Public School.
Motion. Second.
I move we approve resolution 2024-04.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Appropriation ordinance 2024-18, 4-H part-time position.
Move that we do title read only for appropriation ordinance 2024-18. I recommend that we read at least the first paragraph because we've had people in the, audience that wanna know the substance of, body, what's in the body of it. Just maybe give a paragraph read on it.
Okay.
We have to vote on.
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Appropriation ordinance 2024-18, being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2024 annual operating budget and to appropriate funds to allow the county judge to administer said appropriations. Whereas, at the March 2024 Searcy County Quorum Court meeting, it was voted unanimously to give the Searcy County Extension Office a one-time grant of $11,500 to fund a part-time 4-H resource person at Marshall High School for 1 year. Therefore, the following appropriation is approved.
And this money's coming out of the ARP fund and into the general fund, is that true?
Yep.
I noticed there it is housed at the high school, or is it at the court, extension office?
I
thought it was
extension office.
Okay, I just wondered about that.
They're more or less just a liaison between the 4-H and the school.
Okay.
Move that we approve appropriation ordinance 2024-18.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Appropriation ordinance 2024-19.
Move that we do a title read only of appropriation ordinance 2024-19, 2024 annual operating budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Being enacted by the, or appropriation ordinance 2024-19, being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2024 annual operating budget and to appropriate funds and to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation. Whereas funds have been received from Madden Sanitation for the sale of a 2017 cat compactor with loadmaster bed in the amount of $17,000. Therefore, following appropriation is approved.
I'll make a motion that we approve this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Make a motion that we title read only appropriation ordinance 2024-20 to amend the 2024 annual operating budget.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
For appropriation ordinance 2024-20, being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2024 annual operating budget and to appropriate funds and to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation. Whereas funds have been received from Benton County to buyout of Dustin, Monroe in the amount of $5,909.60. Therefore, the following appropriation is approved.
Could we have an explanation on what this is?
They sent him to school, and he went somewhere else, so you gotta stay a year, I think, after you go to school, or they have to buy you out. They pay for his schooling, for his,
Who is Dustin Monroe?
he was a deputy, so he went to the classes. That's what it costs, I guess, to send him to class. And they gotta stay with, I think it's a year what they gotta stay,
Yeah, it's a year.
so, and he left, so.
I'll make a motion to approve appropriation ordinance 2024-20.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that we suspend the rule to read appropriation ordinance 2024-21, do title read only, to amend the 2024 annual operating budget.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Appropriation ordinance 2024-21, being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2024 annual operating budget and to appropriate funds and to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation. Whereas funds have been received from the Arkansas State grants for the Welcome Home Project in the amount of $100,000, therefore the following appropriation is approved.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-21.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance number 2024-22, being enacted by the Quorum Court of Searcy County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to adjust the number of employees at the Searcy County Road Department. Whereas Searcy County Road Department currently has 20 positions, and to better serve citizens of Searcy County, it has been determined that adding 2 additional laborer slots to the road department, bringing it to a total of 22, is a vital need. Whereas the Searcy County judge has declared this an additional need of 2 laborers for the Searcy County Road Department is vital and desperately needed to better serve the citizens of Searcy County. Whereas the additional personnel has been determined a need for the Searcy County Road Department. The cost of each new employee is a reflection of the current yearly cost of a laborer, $34,137. Emergency clause, this ordinance being necessary for the health, welfare, and protection of the citizens of Searcy County, Arkansas, and further necessary, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be of full force and effect immediately upon its passage, approval, and publication.
First off, I have to make a motion to amend this ordinance to read Searcy County
Instead of Arkansas County?
instead of Arkansas County.
I agree.
I'll second.
You can if you want.
In years prior, the Searcy County Road Department had approximately 5 to 8 persons working through the workforce services. The additional personnel allowed the road department to have 2 dedicated brush crews to keep our right-of-ways brush hogged for the safety of our citizens traveling on our road system. This program is no longer available, and the Searcy County Road Department does not have enough personnel to dedicate to the clearing of the right-of-ways. I, speaking on behalf of the judge, this is his memo, I believe that we need 2 brush crews in our effort to keep our roads clear and safe. I am just asking that you allow me to hire 2 people on the road department that will be strictly dedicated to the brush crew or to help fill a need elsewhere. When we have guys off for a short period of time due to illness or any other matter, it really puts a strain on the road department and its ability to get their jobs done. I did a look at the request, and I looked at the amount of monies that were anticipated for Fund 2000 before the 2024 budget was approved. And the amount of funds available to be budgeted at the 90% rate, not the 100%, but the 90% anticipated for Fund 2000 was $2,285,955, $2,285,955. The budget for, the approved budget for Fund 2000 was $2,197,999, which meant that there was $87,956 left that could have been budgeted but wasn't. The request for $34,000 per employee is approximately $68,000, which still keeps him under the anticipated amount of money available for Fund 2000 to budget. My question is $34,000, is that total cost or is that just hourly? Would that be total personnel?
Well, I think it is.
It would be insurance and all, would it?
The number I'm remembering is about 42 or so thousand, so I'm wondering,
So that's probably our,
but that still would bring it within the range of the amount of money that was available to be budgeted out of Fund 2000. And I would also note that money in Fund 2000 cannot be transferred into general, as everyone knows. And so, Judge is asking, I'm not speaking on behalf of him, I'm just looking at these numbers myself, and what I crunched showed that he could have asked for this in December of last year, and he's now coming and asking for this number now, because this need has arisen. That's what I saw.
any more questions?
I have a question about the emergency clause. Is it actually an emergency? I mean, is it a FEMA
Well,
emergency that we don't know about?
it's
or-
just with the stuff, the roads are rolled up so bad. I get more calls on the brush than I do the rough roads. That the curves are bad, you know, they can't see around them, intersections and stuff like that. We're trying to still keep 2 running right now all the time, but they ain't making a whole lot of headway. Then we ain't got no extra people like to use the zipper. I have to pull the grader drivers off to do any extra stuff. Then they get behind, so.
Mr. Brown could address if this falls under the emergency clause. If not, then we can suspend the rule and do
Yeah.
title read only.
So emergency is not emergency in like it's not a FEMA emergency or presidential, you know, it's basically, do we wait 30 days to hire this person, or can we hire this person as soon as it's passed, or these 2 people? You've got the emergency clause there. I think you can articulate there's an emergency because if you're not properly clearing the right of way with your employees, then it's potentially gonna be a problem for, public safety on the county roads, so.
So when you have 2 chippers,
Yeah.
2 tractors,
How many do you normally have on?
Right now, we got both going, we just got one on each one, one on each chipper. We did have 2 at one time.
Somebody quit or?
Well, I put them was driving a grader, one of them, he started being a grader driver, and I got one employee, he's been sick since October, he's been out. I don't know if he's coming back or not, so we've been short-handed on that too.
Well,
And the zipper, I was wanting to, we ain't got to use it yet, cause we ain't got the people to use it.
Well, with 20 people, somebody's always having to take off.
All the time.
This, the 5 to 8 people that was previously working through workforce services, is there any possibility of that coming back?
That was a FEMA thing,
So it was a disaster?
not unless we get a ice storm.
I think it's greatly needed. I'd make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-22. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll move that we do title read only for ordinance number 2024-23, which is an ordinance to amend the 2024 annual operating budget.
Say,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So just read it.
Yes, I'll read that.
I've got everything turned around. So just do 23.
I would just do the paragraph, first paragraph.
Ordinance number 2024-23, being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2024 annual operating budget and to appropriate additional funds.
Motion and second.
I didn't have a chance to crunch this got past me. Is the total cost reflected in this for the 60,000 or the one employee?
From what I did, it was two at 68,000
Should be
something.
both.
Yeah, it was for the two.
Well, that number there that we're looking at, the 34,000, that's only $16 an hour, so that does not reflect
Yeah.
the full cost.
That would be all their benefits.
Yeah.
That's just their hourly rate, wages.
Yeah,
Where
that
did I
doesn't.
see that before? Was that 24?
Well, what's confusing me is line 1, which is 980,000 and change, to 1 million and change, 1,048,000. So that's the 60 some odd thousand, but we're saying that does not include the cost of healthcare and tax, matching. And so what is gonna happen if we don't appropriate those funds for that? I'm looking at the clerk.
Well, frankly, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I need to look at it too, because this wasn't given to me beforehand.
I'd say those numbers need to be checked. It just needs to reflect the total cost, not just the hourly cost.
Can we approve this and then make a motion to come back to the next quorum board with any addendum and then approve that also?
So, yeah, so you can approve, you've got the salary approved, is that right, on the previous ordinance?
Well, it looks like we're not sure if that number
It's the same way.
includes
So
the
so
total
your,
cost.
your requirements are to pass by ordinance, your county employee and set forth what they call their salary, their yearly cost, which does not include the benefits package. So you've got that taken care of in that prior ordinance. Now the question is, have you put the money where it needs to go to pay for that? You're not gonna have a problem with that now, and you're gonna run out of money,
Until we come up
appropriate
short.
in sometime, November, December. So you could either pass the appropriation ordinance, it looks like it's probably a little bit short, cause it doesn't have the benefits package as part of that, and come back next month or sometime in the future and do a cleanup on that, or you can try to do it right next, have the right number next month. I'd be good to go ahead and pass what you can now, though, you got it in front of you.
I would recommend that I move that we pass ordinance 2024-23 with the understanding that we will discover what extra cost will be to support these two employees and bring that appropriation ordinance to the next quorum court meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that we suspend the rule to read appropriation ordinance 2024 and do a title read only to amend the 2023 annual operating budget.
See? All in favor?
Appropriation ordinance 2024-24, being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2023 annual operating budget and appropriate funds to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation, whereas funds have been transferred by county court order, therefore the following transfers are approved.
$80.
Motion, second,
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
What is 2024-06? It doesn't come in sequential order after 2024.
It's a
And
county, it's a county court order, they get referencing
so
that.
do we have to vote on this?
No.
That's,
I think it's in support of that $80 appropriation.
Make a motion that we do a title read only for appropriation ordinance 2024-25 to amend the 2023 annual operating budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
appropriation ordinance 2024-25, being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2023 annual operating budget to appropriate funds and to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation, whereas funds have been transferred by county court order, wherefore the following transfers are approved.
$30,000 from the state into the general, from the general into jail operations.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-25.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Make a motion that we do a title read only for appropriation ordinance 2024-26 to amend the 2023 annual operating budget.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Appropriation ordinance 2024-26, being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2023 annual operating budget, appropriate funds, and to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation, whereas funds have been transferred by county court order, therefore the following transfers are approved.
$18,986. What is delinquent state tax? Is that,
People have not paid their property taxes and it's about to go up for sale, so they pay it to keep it, basically, tonight. I make a motion to approve 2024-26.
All in favor? Any opposed?
make a motion that we do title read only for appropriation ordinance 2024-27.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Appropriation ordinance 2024-27, being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2023 annual operating budget and to appropriate funds and to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation, whereas funds have been transferred by county court order, therefore the following transfers are approved.
For the audience, it's $22,582 delinquent state tax.
Make a motion to approve 2024-27.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Make a motion that we do a title read only for appropriation ordinance 2024-28.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Appropriation ordinance 2024-28, being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Searcy, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled to amend the 2023 annual operating budget and to appropriate funds to allow the county judge to administer said appropriation. Whereas funds have been transferred by the county court order, therefore the following transfers are approved.
Total of $100,000 to $75,000 to Fund 1,000. And what is Act 1155 appraisal fund? Does that go into,
I think that's something the state gives us back on.
well, it's two, it's from general to Act 1155 appraisal fund. So does that go into the appraiser's office?
I'd assume it is.
I think so.
Make a motion that we approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? When you go to,
I would like to address the Quorum Court pertaining to the budget for Fund 1,000. I've been working, well, Ms. Hinchy is chairing the budget committee in this year, but with her permission
Yes.
and to help her, I checked into some numbers because we're in and through we're past the first quarter. And so I was wanting to see where we were with Fund 1,000 and not to bore everybody with numbers. I did run it past Tony and I double checked my numbers, but based on what I'm seeing in collections year to date, ending March 31st, it looks to me like we are on track to be substantially short in Fund 1,000, the general fund. I hesitate to talk too much about this at the end of March because who knows, maybe monies will come in April and May, but the numbers seem to me to be so big that I felt it best that we at least make the Quorum Court aware that there may be an issue with this fund. And I think where this is coming from is when we were looking at the budget, the 2024 budget, we were questioning the carryover of about $1,070,000, if you remember. And that $1,070,000, if it was short substantially, we knew we were going to be short with the budget in 2024. And as promised, we said that we were going to come back and bring this forward to discussion. We approved the 2024 budget with the understanding that if we saw that fund trend downward, we would be having an open dialogue, which I'm bringing to the Quorum Court tonight. The budget adjusted away from the best way to approach this is to say that we need to collect $2,400,000 in order to support the budget in Fund 1,000 of about $2.2 million. We carried over, it's not a carryover, we still don't really know what the carryover was, but I will say that the balance from 23 to 24 is $571,000, which means we need to collect $1.8 million. So far, as of the printing of this report for January 1st through March 31st, the collections look to be $321,000 for that 3-month period. So that would be about an average of $106,000 a month for receipts. We need to collect $154,000 a month in receipts, which means we're trending under significantly $45,000 to $47,000 a month. You carry that forward, it looks like we could be $560,000 or so short by the end of the year, which makes sense because the carryover was not what it was projected to be when we did the budget. You follow what I'm saying? So I hope.
Which we were concerned about.
Which we were concerned. I hope I'm crunching these numbers right, but I've double checked.
I think you're pretty close.
And so the question is, we have 27 departments which are in one way or another funded out of that general fund. So I think that, my advice, being a member of the budget committee, is that we need to be paying very close attention to this in the next 30 to 60 days. And if we don't see an improvement, if we don't see the receipts per month incline up from 106,000, then we will need to take a hard look at where we're going, because we don't want to be $400,000 or $500,000 short at the end of the year in that general fund.
Cause there's no makeup. We can get that far under. We don't have that much of a cushion.
In the previous 3 years, we've had the benefit of a pandemic. And so we had a slush fund of monies that came in through CARES and through the ARP Act. And I'm very concerned that we are extended beyond the limits of our county to budget the full of these 27 or so departments that are funded out of Fund 1000. And I address Mr. Loggins and Ms. Mattis, you are the seniors on this Quorum Court, so what do you guys think?
Well, personally, I think it'll have to be addressed sooner than later, just like you said, within the next 30, no longer than 60 days, but I would prefer 30 days to look at it again. But we've done this before, and we get to the end of the year and there's no money to pull from. And so I think it's best that we keep our eyes on it every month, and we have those conversations and let the elected officials know where we're at, and let them do some thinking and deciding if there's gotta be cuts. I think they need to be the ones to decide what they need to do for their department. I don't think that needs to come from the quorum.
Agreed, well, we've been there according to that point.
Yeah.
Well, I've been concerned since the first of the year, and I expressed myself on that at that point, so I agree with everything y'all are saying. So we don't need to wait till the end of the year and say, oh, we don't have the money.
It's too late.
I mean,
We're in a bind.
nobody in the county operates that way. They know they're not gonna have money at the end of the month, they quit spending, so we're gonna have to.
I think what's gonna end up happening is it would just be that the outstanding balance in Fund 1000 would be in the negative, actually, and I don't even know if that's possible, if that can happen. You can't write checks that balance, so I don't know what would happen at that point. So.
And I'll be honest, I think, knowing what we know tonight, I think it's a conversation that probably needs to be pushed out to all elected officials, that if we don't see an increase in these collections, that they have a heads up that there could be some hard decisions to make on their behalf. We don't wanna I personally don't want to let somebody know and say, okay, you've got 30 or 60 days, you need to figure out what you're gonna do. Because it very well could be cutting hours, it could be letting people go. I don't know what they will do, but I'm just saying, for the fairness of the elected officials and the employees, I think that we see this trend, and we need to be 100% transparent with those individuals. And what they do with it, if they share it with their departments, however they wanna do it, when they wanna do it, it'll be up to them, but we've given them the information way ahead of time.
I invite somebody to double check my numbers, and so before we push any panic buttons, anybody, please look at this and tell me where I'm wrong. Anybody, because it's just what I see here in this fund balance report. But as this relates to the Fund 2000, which we voted on earlier, even if we wanted to, you cannot pull money out of Fund 2000 and put it into the general fund. That's not something you can do. So that fund stands alone. General fund is a fund different from Fund 2000 and solid waste. So, and a lot of this I'm explaining to others who don't look at these numbers.
Well, the money ought to start coming in a little better in May, June, July.
That's what we hope. I mean, I don't want to be totally and terribly negative that based on the cost of fuel going forward, which could end up going up based on world events, we might find ourselves in a strange situation, so.
And at $45,000 a month, it doesn't take long for those numbers to escalate and get out of control pretty quick. That's not pocket change.
So I will bring it back up, Ms. Pinchy will bring it back up in April 24th.
Aren't we in April?
In May.
Is this April?
I didn't catch it till they started saying something, so don't feel bad.
Anybody got anything else?
I have a question. So the people in my district, they're wondering a couple of different things. One, first and foremost, is how can we get the public more in the know of what our quorum courts are gonna be prior to the meetings, like we know as quorum members. Obviously, we get our packet the week before, so we know what's coming up. How can the public get a information other than just going straight to their JP, which, I mean, theoretically, most of our districts, we could have a line out the door for days to print out a copy of an agenda. How do we get it to the public?
They've been working on a deal for the county, I think, a website or something. I don't know if they've got it done or not, or.
Do you know where we're at with that yet, Jeff?
Well, I ask frequently, the treasurer's office has been, leading on that. And, I was told in December that it would be a month, and so we're in April. And so, I feel that the company that we've asked to do this has let us down for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that what they tell me is it's ready and we should be ready to go anytime. So, along with sending you a, minutes from last meeting, I'll put a note in there and I will check with Apprentice, who's the company that's doing it for us, who is our payroll people. I will ask them again where we stand with the website, and I'll have an answer for you tomorrow.
I appreciate that.
Can they call the, your office or the clerk's office and get a copy of that?
Get a copy of
The agenda
The agenda?
for the, once it's developed, if individuals, if citizens are wanting it,
Yeah, if they got an email address or
wanna come by and
something
pick
like
one
that,
up
or
or
come by and
something.
pick
but
one up.
Well, I'm just wondering if that's status quo to even do that in the first place. I mean, the meeting is here and now,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to me that people should come to the quorum court and should listen, and based on the crowds that we don't see, unless there's some special, item.
Well, and that's some of the question behind that is that nobody knows except we, the quorum members, of what we're going to be covering at the meeting. So they don't know whether to ask questions or come queued with questions about upcoming meeting, because they don't know what's on it either.
I would just come to the quorum court meetings. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there'd be a better way to communicate, always is.
Right.
But, I don't know, we're discussing these topics when we come here.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting for the public to have a heads up on what we don't even know.
Well, they're not asking to know what we don't know, but they have the same paper that we get. They're not asking, I don't think they're wanting the whole packet. They're just a list of what we're covering. So if there's something that they would like to be put on the agenda for in reference to old business or new business or anything of that nature, I think that's what they're looking to get, is some people, and it could be just a few, but there's people that want to be more informed, so when they do attend, they have at least an idea of what we're going to discuss, and that way they're not sitting out here in the audience going, oh, I didn't even know that was something, when did that happen? And then they have questions. At least if they know, like we know in advance, we might be able to find out information and give them, or they can call the judge and ask also questions on.
I know
upcoming
Wayne has
events.
he has a website, or he has a Facebook page that he posts out, and so his district can see. I mean, I know he puts all this stuff on here after the meetings, but an agenda could be posted, on something like that even.
I don't know, that's true, but what you can do in your district, like what I did, is I created a Facebook page only for this purpose here. And so you can have any one of us can have a Facebook page, and we can put those agendas up instantly, or put them out on what's happening in Searcy County or anything like that. But I agree with you, and I like the idea, it's a great idea.
We just don't
I'm
have.
just saying short term,
Right,
that's
sure,
what we can do.
right, right. I'm currently blocked for a year on Facebook. I can't post or share or even like, cause I'm a bad gun person. But anyway, the other question is too, at the end of our meetings, and I realize everybody has regular jobs and, you know, these are late meetings sometimes, but giving the opportunity back to the general arraignment here that they can ask questions or make comments. We tend to adjourn quickly. We do not ask if there's any questions or comments from our locals that are visiting, or, so if we could try to adjust that a little bit better, I think.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Do y'all have any questions? We can speak to that when the meeting's over, sir.
Judge, would you like to ask if anybody has anything to?
Anybody got anything? No?
Adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.